Hey everyone, and welcome to my new channel, the Alyosha Project. Some of you may know me by my Minecraft content, which I post under the username Josh Spaceboy. Over there, I do a lot of content like building houses, looking at different adventure maps that I'm making, lots of Minecraft related stuff, and I even do some short stories retold in Minecraft just for a little fun. But over here on this channel, I wanted to do something really different that relates more to what I do or am working on right now, which is my MA in philosophy of religion. I just really enjoy talking and writing about philosophy and theology and tackling life's hardest problems. And while philosophy and theology can seem like distant sort of ideas that don't really matter, the truth is that they relate to our lives a lot, and the ideas, the stories we tell, the stories we hear really shape our character and the types of people we are. So our thought life is really important, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to start a channel specifically on that. So as a Christian too, my content on this channel is going to be geared more towards Christian thought, especially one of the types of videos I'm doing. So I have two types of videos I'm going to be doing on this channel. The first is sort of like a deep look at certain topics within philosophical and theological thought. So, for example, I'm doing a video on the Trinity that I'm working on right now, and that should be a lot of fun. But it kind of gives you an idea of the sorts of topics I'll be handling there. Some won't be necessarily religious per se, or I might be covering viewpoints that are not religious, for example, with like body and soul and that sort of thing. But I think it'll be fun to discuss those topics in a way that's fun and engageable from any sort of audience rather than just high level philosophy sort of gobbledygook. I will talk about some philosophical things, but I'm going to try to break them down for everyone as much as I possibly can. So the other type of video that I'm going to be doing is where I explore different media franchises or video games, movies, whatever, but in a way that I discuss their philosophy and theology. So, for example, I'm doing a video right now on the philosophy of Minecraft. So I'm going to be talking about why the game developers designed Minecraft the way they did, like what's their thoughts behind that. Because I think having been a creator for a while now, I kind of understand why, for example, they don't update with a ton of stuff very often and why their updates are very sparse and barely have anything compared to a lot of other games. Um, and I'm also going to talk about the philosophy of Minecraft in the game itself. Like, what kind of thought life does Minecraft try to produce in its player? What does the gameplay say about life itself? That'll be a lot of fun, and I think you'll see how that can be applied to any sort of franchise. And I also like talking about, if like a video game or something or a franchise media has a religion in it, how that might affect how people think in that world. So one of the reasons why I want to do this is because I think it'll really help us understand how our religious thoughts, how these kind of over-encompassing large ideas really affect our day-to-day life a lot more than perhaps we thought they do. So, I think those will be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to these videos I have coming up, but next I want to talk about the purpose of this channel. What is the reason for the Alyosha project? I have three main goals for this channel. First, it's to show the reasonableness of Christianity in the Bible. So this is not an apologetics channel per se. It's more of just like I'm going to show or be talking about things through a Christian perspective and show how that colors a lot of ideas that we might have. And so I think that will show sort of how faith and reason intermix. I'll have more videos talking about that, but I'm going to keep that a little vague for now. But it's not going to be a traditional apologetics channel, but I definitely think there are already a lot of really good channels that talk about that kind of stuff out there. So if you want to go and find that, I can recommend some for you to watch that I myself really enjoy. But I want to help Christians think like biblical Christians. So that kind of gets to point two, which is that I want to expose false ideas and bad assumptions, especially in Christian philosophical thought, but also in just in general. For example, statistics is something that we use every day. You know, we use it to prove an argument or whatever. But a lot of people don't really understand that statistics don't really work that way, and they can easily lie to us or be manipulated. So that's probably a video I'll be working on in the future, is explaining how statistics sort of manipulate our thoughts, and how to properly read them, and see that they don't really show us as much as we think they do oftentimes, which is unfortunate, but it's just the truth. So, lastly, I'm going to talk about how to bring different denominations together. Church unity is a big, important part of this channel. It's something I really want, between different denominations. So I'm going to be working on trying to bring different denominations together using different linguistic bridges, to try to help soften a lot of the topics. You know, for example, the most classic one, and philosophy and theology is the filioque problem, which is, does the Holy Spirit proceed from the Father and the Son, or just the Father? And this is what split the Orthodox and Catholic Church in the past. And I think there are some ways that sort of maybe bring bridges to where the language can fit for both, a little bit. So that's just a little taste of something I might talk about in the future, and I'll sort of explain, obviously. But as someone who's personally worked with Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians, Lutherans, Anglicans, non-denominational churches, Catholics, Pentecostals, Orthodox, just to name a few, I think that there's a lot more consensus and unity that could be achieved if we're willing to try to at least step in the other person's mind frame just a little bit. Now, I do think there are core doctrines that we absolutely have to agree on. For example, I think the Trinity is 100% one of those. We have to agree on the Trinity, or it's not even the same religion at that point. So that's just one example of what a core doctrine would look like. But I just want to make it clear that I think that we should be breaking down barriers. So I'm not going to talk negatively about any denomination that, you know, I think meets those core doctrines. You know, if it's something that I think is not even Christian, because it doesn't meet those core doctrines, I'm not necessarily going to be talking about it at all. But I'm not going to say go to that kind of church. But if it's, I think, meeting on these core doctrines, then I'm not going to be talking negatively about that denomination on this channel. I don't think this channel is for sort of those negative discussions or talking about which denomination is better than this denomination. That's not really what I want to talk about. In fact, I think that sort of language only breaks us further apart, when unity is more important. It's what Jesus prayed for us in the garden. So I think it's something that will hopefully bear fruit in the future. I'm really hoping anyways. So those are sort of my main three goals. I really am geared especially towards the betterment of the church. Not that this channel isn't for people who don't believe in Christianity. Like I said, the philosophy and theology videos on different content and media, I think, will be pretty much accessible for everyone, in the sense that nobody will mind anything I'm talking about in there, because I'm just going to be viewing it from their perspective, the perspective of the media I'm dealing with, rather than looking at it from a Christian perspective per se, because I think that's the kind of the nature of the videos I'm making there. But I also wanted to just mention why I'm doing it something specifically towards the church, which is that that's, I think, my personal calling. I feel like I'm called to the church, and specifically the discipleship and growing up the church towards healthier, more Christian lifestyles, and healthier relationship with God. So I think, to me, you know, helping Christians realize their relationship in God is something that impacts not just their faith life, but all of their life, is something I want to help encourage and strengthen. So lastly, this channel is called the Alyosha Project. You might be wondering why. And the reason why is because my favorite book outside of the Bible is Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov. It's an absolutely excellent book, you should definitely take the time to read it if you have the chance. It's very long and very big, but it's fantastic. You'll get hooked right away. It's definitely one of the classics for a reason. Crime and Punishment's another great book. I would suggest that he wrote if you want to start with something maybe a little lighter than the Brothers Karamazov, although it's still very thick and heavy. But if you enjoy reading and you haven't read those books, you 100% should. If you don't enjoy reading, maybe audiobook it. But I think those books definitely echo the type of philosophy I'm trying to encourage on this channel. So, if you are excited about this channel, I certainly am. I'm excited to launch this, regardless of, how it does. But if you just happen to stumble upon this and are watching, I'm really excited. Hope that you enjoy this channel. If you do, please like, subscribe. Definitely leave lots of comments. I could be wrong about something, or maybe you just disagree. I would love to hear your opinion on it. I'm definitely a more open-minded type of person, so please leave comments. If you don't like something, leave comments just as much. That's okay with me. Whatever you do, I'm just thankful that you took the time to watch my videos. So excited for the future. Thanks for everything, guys. Goodbye.